welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be working on 4 layouts together, and these are the last 4 layouts that I have left in my Project Life album for 2022. So if you haven't watched one of my flip throughs before, I combined everything together in one album. So I do all of the pocket page spreads and then also layouts here and there whenever I want to. So I had 4 left that I had not gotten to yet this year. The majority of them were from December, but I do have this one that is from October. So we're going to work on these today, knock them out, and then my 2022 Project Life album will be officially finished for the year. I can put it on the shelf. I can put up all of my Christmas stuff and call it done. So I'll be really happy about that. So for this first one, this is from October, from Halloween time, and I am going to be documenting these 5 photos of myself whenever I dressed up as Baby Spice for my Patreon Halloween Zoom. So this was something that, of course, I wanted to document. I love documenting any kind of costumes that I wear over the years, but I did not put any of the photos in my weekly spreads because I knew that I wanted to do a layout. So it's just been sitting here waiting, so I'm so glad to get to it. So I printed off these 5 photos of myself in I believe they are a 2.5 by 3.5 size, so a little smaller than a 3 by 4 because I wanted to make sure that all 5 of them would go across the layout. So I've done a ton of layouts like this, and I just always think that they work out really great, especially if you have several selfies that go together. I just think it looks nice. So all of these spreads today, all of these layouts are just going to be from my stash. So the majority of everything is from all the Christmas stash because, like I said, most of the layouts we're going to be working on are from December. But this one I did grab out in addition to a couple of these non-Christmassy Christmas papers that were in the kits, like this pink and also this star paper here I used throughout my Christmas album. But some of the other papers that you're going to see are from Heidi Swap's Color Fresh collection. So I grabbed a few sheets of that just to add a little more color. I was trying to add different pinks and fun patterns to go with like the Baby Spice vibes of my costume here. So I'm trying to just kind of build a kind of like little cluster at the top where I can put all of my photos. And that's kind of the same thing that I'm doing for all of the spreads. So actually for all the spreads that we're going to work on today, I didn't really know what they were going to look like going in. I just kind of printed off my photos to a size that I thought would work, and then I'm just kind of just building on them and seeing what happens. So I just kind of spent this afternoon watching The Circle, all of the new Circle episodes. Let me know if you're a Circle fan and if you watch the new episodes every Wednesday like I do. I'm loving this season. It's been so good. So I just put those on and then just worked on these layouts all throughout the afternoon. And it was actually really fun and felt so good to get them done. And I was really pleased that I liked all of them because sometimes I feel like I kind of struggle with layouts, like these large 12 by 12 layouts. It's not always like my favorite thing to work on. So I was really pleasantly surprised that I was into all of them after I got finished. So I'm adding on a little bit of washi tape here, just some cute heart washi that I happen to have. And I really, like I was saying, I really like this composition. I've done this many times where I kind of have multiple photos on the top and I kind of create a cluster, and then on the bottom I add in a large title with my journaling, that sort of look. I always think that looks really good. And even though this spread does get a little busy with all of the different patterns and things, I think that it's balanced out decently because I started with a white sheet of paper as my base. So obviously if the white sheet, if that was also a pattern, there would be a lot going on, but the white kind of gives your eyes somewhere to like relax. So I feel like it ends up working out okay. And I just love a mix of patterns. I think that's really fun. And I also love a mix of alphas. So here for my title, I'm actually going to end up spelling out Baby Spice Forever. So I grabbed out these pink alphas that are, I can't remember if those are a Heidi Swap alpha or what they are, but they're like a a little bit of a more thicker, like foam alpha. And then also I grabbed the Citrus Twist skinny black font, which I really like as well. And then I think I end up grabbing out the multicolored, really small alpha from Pink Fresh right here. And I'm going to spell out forever as well. So my title is Baby Spice Forever. And then I'll add a little bit of journaling underneath, and I will stamp out the date. And I really love all of those different fonts like marinating there together on my spread. I think it looks really good. I love adding that exclamation point there that's the same as the baby font. I think that looks really good. Then I grabbed out a few different stars, just like totally random things from my stash. I'm just like pulling out of the drawers that are beside me just to try to use up things and just to see what works. Of course, adding on a few gold stars. I'll do that throughout as well. So actually all of the layouts that we're going to work on today, I start off with a white base. So that is the kind of main thing that they all have in common. And then I'm just using random pieces from my stash and just kind of making, just piecing everything together and trying to make it work. So for me, it was a really enjoyable day. I really enjoyed working on these, and I honestly was just kind of going to do it on my own. And I thought, oh, why not? I'm going to turn the camera on and take you guys along with me. So I hope that you enjoy it. I never really know about posting these layout videos, how many people really enjoy the layouts, but I thought, what the heck, I'm just going to put it on here instead of doing it by myself. I might as well record it and pop it up for anyone who's interested in following along. So down here at the bottom, after I did my kind of cluster with my journaling and my title, I thought the bottom was just a little too bare down here. So I just kind of roughly tore a couple of these pattern pieces and added those here to the bottom to an additional cluster. And I think that that looks nice just to bring in some of that color to the bottom as well. So I'm going to add these three in, and then I'm also going to add a little bit of the washi tape that I used. And then I end up pulling out the Tim Holtz tiny phrase sticker books. So the one that has all of the regular phrases like be bold, be you, and like all those kind of phrases. I've used the majority of them, but I have almost this entire book of the sarcastic phrases. Let me know if y'all have that book, because they're really cute and funny, but I just find them kind of hard to use. But I ended up using one of the sarcastic ones, and I was really happy about that. I don't remember what it says, but I end up making it work down here at the bottom. But I love the sticker book. I think it's really fun, and I forget about it a lot. So I was glad to have pulled that out as well. So I don't think that I add much else to this one. I definitely do end up grabbing out my Heidi Swapp Color Shine, like little mist sprays in the tinsel color, which is kind of like the dark gray color that I use quite a bit. So I'm going to add that onto all of my spreads. So that's kind of one thing that I love to add at the end, especially with these white paper background spreads. I just think it ties it all together. And I think it looks really nice with the word spice in black and the kind of cheetah print paper, and then with the black mist sprays. I think it looks really nice all together. So that one's really fun, and the first one is knocked out and done. So now we're going to move on to the next two, which are Disney themed spreads. So these are from early December when me and my mom went to Disney World together. We had such an awesome trip, and I did, of course, document it in my regular Project Life spreads, but I kept out actually some of my favorite photos from the trip because I knew that I wanted to make layouts with those. So once again, for this one, I grabbed out just a plain white sheet of cardstock, and then I'm grabbing, mostly for the next three, I think I'm only using papers from the three Christmas collections that I used this year. So Crepe Paper, Mittens, and Mistletoe, Simple Stories, Mix and a Mingle, and then Die Cuts with a View down the chimney. So I use all of those. So everything's going to be kind of a mixture of those three collections. So I've been keeping all my Christmas stuff out, kind of in a pile, not on my desk, but close to it, because I knew that I still had these layouts that I wanted to do. So I'm so glad that now I can pack everything up and get it organized and have it ready for next year. And hopefully I will use some of these products for other projects next holiday season. So here, I know this star paper is from crepe paper, and then the polka dot is from Die Cuts with a View. So I'm kind of just creating a little cluster here for my photo to sit on. I do, off camera, I guess, add an additional piece of star paper that you're going to notice at the bottom of that cluster here in a second. It's magically appeared, and it was torn. But I decided I really didn't like that. It looks a lot like the crepe paper one, but I think that one came from Die Cuts with a View. So they both had kind of a little star themed paper, but I'm adding this stripe instead, which the stripe was one of my favorite papers from all of the collections this season. So I'm adding that on, kind of building my cluster. This is a photo of me and my mom from Epcot, and I printed this one off as a 6x8, so it's quite large. So if you noticed right when I was getting my photos out, I also had a picture of the castle, which then I wasn't sure if I was going to add that on or not, but I do end up adding it on in a little bit. And then I also have this really cool 50th Walt Disney World anniversary sticker that they sent us in the mail. And I have several of these, so I was really glad that I was able to use it. So I just took it off of the backing, put it on a piece of white cardstock, cut it out, and then I popped it up on some foam dots just so it could be like a large embellishment. And I thought that was really cute. And this is the first spread that you will see in my album before I start talking about the Disney trip. So I thought that was a nice like intro into our trip. So since I have on those pink ears and you can see some of the fun pink reflection there in my mom's sunglasses, I wanted to add a little bit more pink to the spread and kind of break up some of that red. So I added on a little bit of pink, and then I'm grabbing out the sticker sheet from Simple Stories and Mix and a Mingle. I actually had 2 of these sticker sheets this year, so I have a lot of these stickers left. So I'm using up a few of them here and there. It takes me a minute, but I kind of start figuring it out, and I'll start getting all of the little embellishments going on. So yeah, I'm so excited to have gotten these 4 layouts completed. So now my album is totally done. So you can definitely expect a full flip through next week for my Project Life album. Of course, I share all of the process videos over here, but sometimes it's nice to see everything together. I love doing that. So let me know if you document Project Lifestyle or some other like weekly, monthly, yearly documenting. Are you finished for the year, or are you kind of still working on completing everything? Luckily, I am done. Just with making these videos especially, it's pretty easy for me to kind of stay on track because I like to post the videos over here every week. So that's one thing that kind of gets me to complete everything. So the fact that I was behind on a few layouts, it just feels really nice to have gotten those done because in the back of my mind, I was like, oh, I still have those to do. When am I going to get them done? So it just feels really good. So here I added a small title. I didn't have a ton of room down here at the bottom, so I ended up just choosing 2 different alphas, and I spelled out Hi Disney, and then I added another one of those small Tim Holtz tiny phrase stickers and a few other little embellishments. And here's where I decided that I did want to add that castle photo. So I printed off that photo as a 3x4, and I thought maybe I would add it on here. I wasn't really sure, but I think it looks really nice next to that photo of my mom and me. And if you're watching my other video that I did a couple weeks ago of some layouts, I did one layout that only had 1 photo on it, and that layout just bugged me so bad. I ended up actually taking it out of my album, so you're not going to see that in the flip through. I'm just going to put that with my random layouts, but it just didn't work for me. I'm just not a one photo layout kind of girl. So I really like that this has a couple photos. I love the different sizes with the large photo mixed with the smaller one, and then that big Disney embellishment. I think that really like ties it all together. So here I've just added a little cluster. Kind of what I've been doing in a lot of these spreads is I'll have a cluster at kind of the top left corner, and then it goes kind of in a diagonal down to the bottom right corner. And I think that that looks really nice, like to distribute all the little bits that I want to sprinkle on. So I'm just adding a mix of stickers, tiny word phrases, and also the gold stars. I had a few of those chipboard stars left over from, I think, what is it? Studio Calico, I think. So I just was really enjoying kind of sprinkling those on and adding those in. Added in a little bit of journaling to the bottom as well. And I think this one is pretty much done. So I'm going to once again just add on some of that Heidi Swap Mist spray here. And I think that looks so nice and finishes it off quite well. And then we're going to move on to the third layout, and it will also be a Disney themed layout here. Oh, before we do that though, I grabbed out these also from Studio Calico, and they're kind of just like vellum stars, which I've used a couple other times over here. So I'm just stapling those right on. I had them in my like little embellishment dish, and I thought, why not? I'll just pop them on and get them used up. So I think that looks really cute. Okay, now on to the third one. So these are a couple other pictures that I knew that I wanted to specifically do a layout of. So these, this was a really fun thing that me and my mom got to do. We actually got to go eat at the Sci-Fi Dine-In Theater. If you guys have been there before, it's at Hollywood Studios, and it is so much fun. It's one of my favorite places to get to eat at Disney. And the way that it works there with Disney World is that you have to make your reservations like 2 months in advance. It used to be 6 months, but now I guess it's 2 months. And they actually give you the date that you have to get on there and make your reservations. So ours was in October. I got on at 5 a.m., was ready to make my reservations, had my coffee ready. I was like ready to go. And nothing. I couldn't get one reservation that I wanted. Like every single thing was already booked, even though I was up right at the crack of dawn whenever they told me, on the day that they told me. So it was super disappointing. And really the main place that I wanted was for me and my mom to go to this restaurant. I didn't really care about anywhere else. Sometimes it's hard for us to get food that we really want at different places, but I knew that they had an Impossible Burger here that we would want to eat. So I really wanted us to get to go here, and it was such a letdown that I couldn't get any reservations. Well, then the morning of when we were getting ready at our hotel, I checked, just to see if they would happen to have anything opened. It was just the two of us, and sure enough, we were able to get a reservation, and it was so awesome. So if you haven't heard of the Sci-Fi Dine-In or you haven't been there before, it's just really cool. It's at Hollywood Studios, and it essentially just looks like a drive-in, an old drive-in from the 50s, and you're sitting in a car. So it's really cool. It's like you're sitting like with other people, but you don't have, like, you're not talking to them because everyone's sitting as though you're in a car together. And it's just so cool. You have a little almost like bar tabletop to eat off of. And then in front of you, there's like this huge drive-in movie screen, and they show different clips from old movies, like from the 50s, old sci-fi movies. And it is just such a blast. So we had so much fun there, and it was a great time. So I knew that I wanted these photos to have like their own special layout. So I printed off the two larger ones at a 5x7 each, and then the smaller one, like this shadow photo, that just happens to kind of go because that was after we ate there. Still the same day, same, area and everything. So, I printed that one off as a 3x4, and I really love the way that this looks. I just grabbed 3 different scraps of paper, you see, kind of like layered those into the background, and then I grabbed one of those Simple Stories tags and wrote big surprise. I don't know where those surprise alphas are from. I just totally randomly found those. They look maybe like Studio Calico maybe, but I'm not exactly sure. So I just spelt that, and I'll add a little bit of journaling to the inside of that tag as well, adding on some of the little kind of finishing touches here with the washi tape, and then also just some kind of enamel dot kind of stars and little bits and pieces here as we go. So I just added in a small amount of journaling. I couldn't fit that much, but I needed to add some place to add the title, because as I was trying to figure out where I wanted the title to go, it would have just blended right into that star paper that I added on. So I needed somewhere for the title to sit. So I just chose that tag, and then you have like a little bit of white space for the title to go there. So then, of course, same kind of thing as I was doing before. I had a few more of those vellum stars from Studio Calico. So I just stapled those right on. And then also I'm adding on a few other star stickers and little things that I have, some of the gold stars, just kind of keeping that diagonal look just like I did with the other one. So whenever I'm trying to knock out multiple layouts, I kind of like to do that, to kind of maybe be working with the same kind of paper, same kind of embellishments, almost like I'm working with a kit, just like whatever's around me. But then I don't have to go fishing through all of my stuff and try to find the perfect paper and the perfect embellishments. I'm kind of just using whatever is there, which helps me to bust through the layouts a lot quicker. And then also, if I kind of have a similar layout design in mind. So these aren't necessarily the same layouts, but they all kind of at the base have a layer of just kind of like scrap paper pieces as the base. And then I'm kind of like layering these different sized photos on top of each other. So even though they look a little different, I feel like they all kind of have the same feel. So that helps me to be able to kind of bust out a few at one time, especially if I'm enjoying the layouts that I'm making. It's like, why not make a few while I'm kind of in that groove, you know? So I really like this. I love adding those black tiny word phrase stickers to the diagonal pieces to the top left and the bottom right. Those little things like that can really tie the spread together. I think just by adding that black, it really helps to tie in the other black parts of the spread. So I really end up liking the way that this one looks. Then I just added on a little date stamping there just for fun. And then I'm going to do the Heidi Swap Color Shine, of course, just the same thing as I've been doing here. And that will be it for this one. So I think this one might be my favorite one out of the bunch, but I really like it. One thing I love is that star paper, the little piece that I have at the top there, the star paper, like the larger stars, that's from Vicky Booten, and I just really love that paper. So I was excited to use it. Okay, and then this last spread, if I'm being honest, this spread is what is taking place of the second spread that we did in the previous video. So we did 2 layouts in the previous layout video that I posted maybe last week. One was of our cat Lasagna with 3 photos of her. That one is fine, but the one on the back, it was a photo of me and my mom holding up some books by the tree, and I titled it, "We Wish You a Bookish Christmas." That one, I liked some portions of that layout, but other parts I just didn't like. So that's the one I've just kind of taken out of my album, and it's just going to go in my layout pile because it just felt like I was scrapbooking that for no reason. And I don't know why, but for me, I like for all of my layouts to have like a point, like I'm really scrapbooking something important. And I don't know, that just didn't really work for me. I think because it was just one photo, I knew I was just kind of like scrapbooking that photo to go on the other side of the pictures of our cat. And I don't know, it just didn't work for me. So I wanted to do another layout here to go on the back of the kitty layout. So I decided to go with this photo of myself. I hadn't scrapbooked just a selfie of me, I think in December, unless I was with someone else, but not just a selfie of just me by myself. So I thought that that was a good thing to do. I like to scrapbook selfies because these are my albums, right? So this one I did print off as a 6x8, basically just because, like I've said before, it's hard for me to scrapbook just lone photos, just the one photo, unless it's printed off larger. So the fact that it's a 6x8 just instantly makes it so much easier for me. So for this one, I grabbed 3 different pattern papers. One is that really light silver stripe, which is nice because it's almost like the white, but it gives it a little bit of like a shimmer. And then 2 other pattern papers there. And I'm all decked out in my Christmas stuff, so I thought I could really make it Christmassy. I think I actually took this photo on Christmas Day. And then I love the sticker like borders there from Simple Stories that look like different stamps. I really wanted to use those, but I didn't know where to use them. So I was really glad I got to kind of tear it in half and use some at the top, some at the bottom. Added a little bit of the washi, and then I added another one of those Simple Stories tags to kind of essentially do the same thing that I did before, where I'm kind of creating my cluster and I can add a little bit of journaling. Now for this spread, I didn't put a title, I don't think. So titles on spreads are not something that I do every single time. I don't feel like they all need one. And this one, I just didn't really feel like I needed to add anything. So I added a couple puffy or kind of like foam stickers off the foam sticker sheet. That sticker sheet was not really for me. I got it in a Citrus Twist kit whenever I guested on their design team. So it wasn't a sticker sheet that I really would have bought on my own because they're just really thick foam, like thickers and, or I guess phrases and icons. And it's just not one that I really would have picked out. So I did add a couple of the foam stickers, but a little goes a long way for me. And then these are also from Citrus Twist, and I forgot that I had them, so I'm adding a couple of these gold word phrases along with some of the word phrases from Simple Stories and Tim Holtz. So I'm just kind of adding little things here and there, doing that same diagonal. See, it's working for me to have that like top left, bottom right thing going on, so I'm just keeping it going throughout the spreads, and I really enjoy the way all of them look. So I'm just going to add on all the little bits and pieces here, and then I will add just a tiny bit of journaling into that tag, just basically talking about the holiday season and all of those kind of things, just kind of to wrap up the album, like my last 12 by 12 spread of the album. Now, I put something down there at the bottom. I forget what I stuck down, but when I took it off, it kind of ripped the paper. So I ended up just adding a little bit of torn paper down there to the bottom to fix my mistake, and you can't even tell. Adding on a little bit of the tiny attacher little staples there just for fun. And then I'm going to add on my journaling. And then, of course, I will add on my mist spray or the, what is it? Heidi Swap Color Shine. And that is pretty much it for this one. So I just feel like on top of the world this afternoon. I was watching The Circle, enjoying my life, and got to bust out 4 layouts, and it feels so good. They've been sitting there. I mean, some of these are from December, so granted, not that long, but to me, I've been like, oh, I really need to get those done. You know, I just want to have the album put on the shelf and to be done with it. So I hope that y'all enjoyed this video and enjoyed kind of sitting with me for a while and working on all of these spreads. If you did, please give me a like, and please also consider subscribing. And of course, I will be back at you super soon with another video. So y'all have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye, y'all.